So I'm going to walk you guys through today some of the things I did before I became an investor. I worked with investors, and that was probably like 30-40% of my business. And when I first got started, my mentor Jim, who's right next door, he explained to me, like, look, if you sell to investors, you get to represent them on the purchase, and then you get to represent them on the relist. And also you get all the open houses and buyers that come from those beautiful listings. And a lot of buyers call directly when you do have a newer construction listing to come see the property. So I went and I did that, and that's how I started getting bigger and bigger and bigger sales. And I worked all my way up to $21 million sale from selling a property to an investor, represented them on the purchase, which was an off market. And then 14 months later, we sold the property for $21 million. And that's when, I started doing this myself. And basically what I'm doing now is I'm meeting with wholesalers, agents, and saying, look, this is how I did it. I break down the math and show them kind of like the process of thinking of how if you add this to your business, you aren't changing anything in your business currently. If you're doing open houses, you still do open houses. If you're doing sphere of influence, you're still reaching out, like nothing changes. But a bunch of these things, you're already doing it every single day and you're not capitalizing on it. So I'll go through the math. I'll go through the 3 steps of where you can find these properties and how to sell them and who to sell them to. Because not all investors are created equal. There's some people that will make you take a discounted commission. There's some people that will give you the full commission. And really, I went through, when I created my model personally, I went and I looked at all the things I loved about working with investors, and I looked at things I didn't like, and I saw. And I went and I kind of structured it, and I'll show you kind of what to look for, to where if you don't want to sell a deal to me and you want to sell to someone else, at least I'm giving you the tools to go and like kind of demand what you're worth. Because what you're bringing, and what a lot of people don't realize, is you're bringing them a piece of gold. Yeah. So why are they going to discount your commission on a piece of gold, especially on an opportunity they'd have no chance of finding if it wasn't, bringing it over to you. So right now, if you did 4 deals a year with an investor, you can turn that easily to 8 to 12 deals. And we'll go through the math of what that looks like. So I'm going to go through like what my average price point right now is on deals I'm buying when agents bring them to me or wholesalers. So if I buy a property for 1.7, a 2.5% commission on that is $42,500. My average sale on 1.7 is going to be right around 2.5. And that is $62,500. That comes out to right around $105,000. So for so yes, 2 deals, but it's all stemming from 1.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So if you sold me 4 $1.7 million houses, that's $420,000 a year just from dealing with me, because you're going to go get a 2.5%. Generally speaking, it's whatever you negotiate on the purchase. I'm just doing 2.5 because that's just kind of what the standard is.
Yeah.
And then I do a 2.5% on the relist every single time. And that's how you come out to $105,000 per, on the average price of 1.7 million. On top of that, what I did is I went and I sat all my own open houses. And obviously I had my signs up and I was getting all those phone calls. So let's say this is 420,000. Let's say you pick up 4 buyers at $2.5 million from your open houses and people that are coming, and you get credibility because you're the listing agent on these properties, and you're able to go and say, hey, if this doesn't work out with you, I work with investors and I have a bunch of off-market inventory. Because it's true, you call me, I'll say, hey, this is what I have coming up, and then you can go and show it. Yeah. And that's how you start gaining these buyers through open houses. So you can easily, let's just do 2.5 just because it's simple terms. That's another $420,000 a year. That's $840K a year. Just by selling 4 deals to an investor, that should be somewhat, at least you're at $600,000 a year by selling it to an investor. Yeah. And not all investors are created equal. Some are super easy to deal with. Some are super difficult to work with, right? So when people sell property to me, we go through the escrow process. They don't hear from me until probably like a week and a half before we list it. We put it back up. You're not showing, like, we're not driving around every week and looking at properties. There's not like the whole emotional roller coaster of, the sink doesn't work, right? I don't care. I'm replacing the sink on the purchase. And then on the relist, there's no emotion in it for me either. It all comes down to the numbers. So it's a completely different experience working with investors, because most of the time the emotion is taken out of it. So it's like, okay, if you just add this every single year, what does your entire year look like in terms of gross commission? It completely changes.
You could make $1 million every year.
1,000% with a really good investor.
Yeah.
Now, the crazy part is to get to this, you're not changing anything you're doing every single day. You're already doing the activities all week, every single week, 552 weeks a year to get to this. And the way how, and then I'll give you some actual live examples of how all this worked for me and what's working right now with the agents that are bringing me deals and we're closing escrows on. So the first one's networking events. This is going to be really big for you because everyone knows you here locally in town along the coast. And if you don't have that, if you haven't been in the business 10 years, you just have to work really hard at this. Yeah. So when I say networking events, I'm not talking about like sundown, listing parties. That's probably the lowest like position on where I would focus. Office meetings and caravans are massive. Some of my best deals I've ever come across have been at caravans, showing up every single week. Because when you hear during the open pitches, people say, hey, my client really needs an offer, or hey, they're really motivated, or there's a bunch of keywords.
And that's exactly what I was telling you earlier when I haven't been in that mindset. And I've then thought of something too late to bring to one of you guys. And someone's like, oh, someone's already brought it to me. I'm like, damn it. It's because I heard it at open pitch because I go every single week.
Exactly.
And it would be really, I should start going to other caravans, not just Reba. So
you want to go to caravans where a lot of people show up. There's some caravans in town. Like I know Oceanside, I pitched a property up there once for a listing I had. 6 people showed up.
That's not so funny. Like down here, a couple of our coastal ones, like really PB and what caravan are you going to?
I'm not.
You're not. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to caravan?
Chula Vista has a pretty good one.
Do they?
So, yeah,
that's interesting.
Really good presence.
Have you pulled deals out of there?
So I'll level with you. I've only been to one.
Okay.
But that was pretty good. I got a ton of contacts out of it and a breakfast burrito to go. So.
There you go.
We don't get that here. But
Nice.
Oh, what I was going to say is for the caravans that you guys are maybe not going to yet, he's right. A lot of them are actually not that well attended. So like MBREA, which is Mission Beach, and La Jolla are some of the, like, there's sometimes 200 people there.
Right.
A lot of the other ones are like 20, 30 people. Point Loma is also a good one.
Yeah.
That one is well attended. So it's some of these, like some of our southern coastal, Del Mar, Rancho Santa Fe is also a really good one. But a lot of the inland stuff isn't that well attended, but I've also had good luck there because you still hear things. There might be 20, 30 people there versus trying to find one that's 6. So you kind of have to go around and like figure it out, but I couldn't agree more. Caravan is like the best. So
100%. And you're not just sitting there for keywords. Like I've known Stephanie for 10 years, almost like 8 or 10 years.
Yeah.
She's well known in the caravan and well respected. Like she makes a phone call to just about anyone in that room. They'll know who she is, even if she hasn't done a deal with them directly. So that's super important too. If you want agents to trust you with these opportunities, you go every single week and then they know you. They know your name. They know your face. So you can't just show up and like show up for 3 weeks and be like, oh, this isn't working.
Yeah.
You know, it's just constantly going up and pitching. It's constant. Like every single one of you, if you don't have a cash buyer, you do. Me. Or you can go and call any of the other investors in town, redevelopers in town. You will have a buyer. And so you can go and if you know them and you can attest to it, it's like, hey, I have the best cash buyer in town. Do you have anything that needs an offer? Do you have any off-market opportunities? He just sold 5 of his and he's looking for more. So regardless if you're new or you've been in the business 10 years, or if you have a list of 100 buyers, it doesn't matter. It's still the same pitch. I have the best buyer in town. What do you have? Like, does anyone need an offer?
I pitched for you last week.
Did you really?
Yeah, I did. Always pitch for him and say, you know, whether it's $1 million or $750 or just like, depending on the caravan you're at, look at what the average price point is and then pitch for him just to like get up there. And it looks like that you're actually like, have listings coming up or you have buyers coming up that you're super, super busy anyway. That's just like a hack.
No, 1,000%. I couldn't agree more. Caravans are number 1 on the list of networking events. The second one is office meetings. If you're at a big brokerage, you're at Real, right?
Yeah.
EXP, and then you're... So that's different. You don't have the office meetings, but that's another really good one because then you get to network with the people in the office if it's a big office. And I've seen a ton of deals come out of there. I've written many offers when I was at Compass.
We did that all the time.
All the time. I wrote a ton of offers at Compass for investors through those pitches because for some reason a lot of brokerages like to keep their stuff in-house. Yeah. That's another great way to do it. The third one, which is the lowest on the list, it's different in California. I know where Kevin's from in Arizona, Scottsdale, Phoenix. RIAs, real estate meetups, they're massive there. Here, a majority of them are a waste of time, in my opinion. But if you don't have the office meeting, I would go check those out and just networking. You never know who you'll meet there. So that would be the third one, but I wouldn't spend a bunch of time on it. I would focus on the first two, especially the first one. The first one's gold if you really hit it hard and are very intentional with creating relationships at the caravans.
So whenever it comes to like the office meetings, is that something that's just organized? Or, I mean, I've just kind of been out in the field before and then saw, random brokerage and just stopped in. Is that more or less what you're talking about, or just
So
kind of like
no, it's
actual
if you're like
networking
in a
events?
like at Compass, at Coldwell Banker, at Keller Williams, at Pacific Sotheby's, you're going to that meeting.
They
So like
have,
as an
monthly
outsider, you
meetings.
can't come
Yeah,
in.
so as an outsider, you can't go.
So how do you get on?
So it was just an example of like number two. If you're at
If
one of
you
those
are-
brokerages,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
suggesting you go in. They won't let you in.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say. I
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
like,
they're- who are you?
Hey, the door's that way, buddy.
yeah, exactly.
Right?
Okay. I was like, how do I get on?
No. So like we're all cloud-based brokerages, so like you don't have the
But I
regional
have
meetings.
calls weekly.
Correct. Yeah, but it's not the same as like in person
It's
when you're
not.
but
It's
you can
not.
still do it.
And a lot of mine are out of state, but that's also referral stuff too. Because
Correct.
they'll be like, oh, I know so and so. Like, I have an agent that's like actually in your area. I just met them. Let me connect you. Like, that's happened to me before. So, like, if you are on calls you're with EXP.
No, I'm with real.
Oh, you
real.
are with Real.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to talk after this meeting. I have something for you. But anyway, okay.
100%. So it's hard when you're cloud-based, but it's still like I didn't even know that was an opportunity at Real.
Yeah.
It's 30, 40 minutes a week. It's worth it if you got 1 or 2 deals out of that a year. That's
Totally worth it.
150 to 300K depending on the deal size.
Sure.
The second one is, this one used to be number 1 for me, but in the last 3-4 weeks it went to number 2, would be the MLS. Guys like Ben and I are calling on the MLS all day long. And we're like, it's just super competitive on the MLS. Where the MLS works, in my opinion, is focus on areas that you know really well. There's a couple people that are sending me stuff from like all over the place, and they're not like market experts in that specific neighborhood. And if you're looking all over the county for the MLS, just trying to get a deal for an investor, it's really difficult. So I would focus in on a certain area like North County Coastal, North County Inland. You have South Bay, Chula Vista, you have PB, La Jolla, Point Loma, OB. I kind of put that all like in categories. If you want to focus on the MLS, I would just go into a certain area. Do not try to go the whole county if you're an agent trying to work with an investor. I just haven't seen a lot of luck with
That's
it.
very overwhelming.
It's very
Are
overwhelming.
you looking at days on market for
It doesn't. I write on stuff day 0, day 1, day 2, day 30, 40. Like it doesn't matter.
Any
If it's a
fixers,
deal, it's a
though?
deal. Any fixers,
Okay.
correct. And I don't care what like the list price is. I just say, hey, this is what I'm willing to offer. If they want it, they want a 5-day close, non-contingent. We're able to make it happen. With MLS deals, you're writing probably 10 to 20 offers, like really good offers, to get one deal.
That's okay.
So it's definitely a numbers game. Why I say focus on areas if you're an agent, is if a deal is a good deal.
Yeah.
So if you don't know Poway really well, and you're a coastal agent, you don't know if a deal, you're spending time comping it. Or like if something hits in like La Jolla, PB, Point Loma, Ocean Beach, Del Mar, Cardiff, and anything coastal,
Yeah.
I know as soon as I see it if it's worth me spending time on it. That would be the same for people that specialize in like Claremont Bay Park. If they specialize in Mission Hills, they know the market so well. As soon as they see a deal, as soon as they see a price reduction, they know immediately, hey, that's a deal for my investor. I'm going to reach out to them. That would be the best use of your time, especially right now. Inventory is dropping at the fastest rate I've seen since like March.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So we've dropped 500 active in the last month and a half. So that's why it's dropped to number 2 with how competitive it is.
Okay.
Now, are you only focusing on active listings or expireds as well?
That's actually, expireds are number 3, and I'm going to go into the deep dive on that one. So right now it's active and back on market. So I look at back on market, I look at actives. I don't necessarily spend time on pendings just because 20% of them will fall out. I'd rather look at the stuff that's active on the MLS that has a higher chance of
VOM anyway, so then
exactly, and then you catch it. And I use keywords. So in the MLS function, and you can also do this on Zillow, like Deal Sauce, PropStream, any of the softwares where you can look at active deals. Yeah, it's a props. Have you heard of PropStream? Batch leads.
I use it every day.
Yeah, so I use it too. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's not the MLS. It's like I don't know how to. It's 20 times better than Zillow.
What was that? What was it called?
Deal Sauce.
Oh, Deal Sauce.
PropStream, Deal Sauce,
PropStream.
Batch leads. They're a little different, but it's a software I use. Like you can do like a real deep dive, and you can like categorize everything. You can look at pre-foreclosures, probate sales.
It's so archaic.
It's horrible.
Wait.
It's horrible. I personally use Zillow or PropStream or Deal Sauce on everything. I hardly use MLS.